I saw this tweet by Brad Bakken and it got me thinking, if you swapped Steph Curry with a 35-year-old LeBron James, the Warriors would be championship contenders. Instead, they'll probably be a 6 seed. What does that say about Steph's legacy? There is a lot of evidence that Steph cannot carry this Warriors team, and I'm afraid about how much critics are going to use that against him. This video explains what Steph's dubs will look like and how it changes his resume. Hey, it's Casey. Welcome to AM Hoops. Hit subscribe and notification bells. We don't have long before January 1st. And we are trying to get to 100,000 subscribers, so please hit subscribe. We're just over the 90,000 mark. It's within reach. It'll be tough, but I know we can do it. First, I know some people will disagree that Steph can't carry this team offensively. Did you see him last year? They had a healthy Draymond Green and D'Angelo Russell. Steph went 1-4 leading that team. They got blown out by 19, 28, 11, and 8 points in those losses. Oh, now you might say they were working in new people like D'Lo. There was no Kevin Durant. Yeah, same situation this year. They're going back to pre-KD days, but without Klay Thompson, Andre Iguodala, or Sean Livingston, and with Kelly Oubre, Andrew Wiggins, and a 19-year-old rookie. So basically what they're going to need in the half-court offense is for Steph Curry to be like Russell Westbrook, but he's not that kind of player. I mean, very few guys are, like James Harden. I mean, OKC was so bad in 2017, the first year without Kevin Durant, they needed Russ to average a triple friggin' double, and he did. The Rockets were built around Harden's isolation game, and that made them a contender. Steph cannot do that. He is not Russell Westbrook. But at the same time, Russ isn't Steph. If you put Russ on all these Warrior teams, they ain't no dynasty. I think that says something really good about Steph, what kind of player he is, and his legacy, but it also means he needs a certain system and certain teammates. That is what we're gonna see this season, and it will define Steph's legacy. We're gonna see him as the greatest ceiling raiser of all time. He's a guy that can make a good team great or a great team a dynasty. Unlike Russ or Harden, Steph can play MVP level basketball while making his teammates better. And we can all agree that that is a lot more valuable because come playoff time, you can't just shut Steph down. Steph won MVPs and titles because the Warrior system of ball movement and player movement works perfectly for his game. For a Russ or Harden team, if you shut Russ or Harden down, you have solved the puzzle. That's why they have very little playoff success when they have their own team. So Steph can reach his potential with the right talent and system, but when that talent isn't there, it means these dubs, led by Steph, will be mediocre. And that's what makes LeBron James so special. He can do both. Like, he can play that Russ or Harden role and just be the center of an offense and lead a team deep into the playoffs, or he can be Steph and raise the ceiling. He can lead a team by himself like that just because that's how he's built. He's done it for almost 2 decades. What makes LeBron the greatest ever is he can do it all. He can carry a team and make a good team great. LeBron raises the floor and the ceiling, while Steph can only raise the ceiling. 2 different legacies, but both are great. But here's my even bigger question. If Steph needs a great team around him to reach his potential, will he really be a Warrior for life? The Dubs have 3 of the worst contracts in basketball with Andrew Wiggins, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green. Draymond has likely 4 years, $90 million left. Wiggins has 3 years, $122 million, and Klay 4 years, $189 million after a torn Achilles and ACL. Look, I hate to say this, Warrior fans, we all love Klay Thompson. That has got to be one of the worst contracts in the NBA. Does Steph stay with a rebuilding Warriors team? Honestly, no. He only has 2 seasons left, and although he says the goal is to be a Warrior for life, what else is he supposed to say? I mean, if Steph said anything except "I'm a Warrior for life," it would create a huge controversy, something they don't need, and he's not that kind of player. He's not Kyrie Irving. But here's the thing, if he says he wants to be a Warrior for life, and I know a lot of you believe him, why has he not signed that contract? Steph is eligible for a max extension of 3 years, $156 million, but he hasn't signed it. I mean, that would basically be Warrior for life. He could be there until 36 years old, but he might see the truth. He can't carry this team to more titles, and the dynasty is over. If Steph wants that 4th ring, he has to leave Golden State. And speaking of legacy, that would change things big time for Steph. Not many players stay with one team their entire career. Even though Dirk Nowitzki has 1 title, that is one of the most special titles ever. Tim Duncan is loved forever in San Antonio. Same for Kobe Bryant in LA because they stayed. One-teamers are so loved by fans because fans stay with one team no matter what, but players rarely do. When a star stays through the ups and the downs, it is a special bond with that fan base. Does Steph really want a ring chase at the expense of that? Again, yes, he does. There are plenty of guys that we associate with one team that are forever loved, but they ended their careers elsewhere. We know Michael Jordan ended with the Wizards, not the Bulls, but a lot of people forget Hakeem Olajuwon left Houston for Toronto, or Patrick Ewing's last game was in a Magic uniform after 1 year in Seattle, not New York. Giannis's extension has overshadowed a lot this offseason, and Steph Curry not signing is a big storyline. I think Steph will leave the Warriors. It's just a matter of time. So this year, it will be obvious to everyone, even Steph, that he cannot carry this team offensively. But here's what I think they're going to look like. The Warriors want to have a top 10 defense and be a really good transition team. That means causing a ton of turnovers and scoring points on the fast break. Kelly Oubre has a 7'3" wingspan, the same as Kawhi Leonard, and he's done a decent job guarding Kawhi as well. This clip here from The Athletic shows that. Here he blocks James Harden's 3 flat-footed. That's hard to do. Kent Bazemore has a 7-foot wingspan. Here he is guarding Luka or chasing down Kawhi. James Wiseman has a 7'4" wingspan, and he is super athletic, and even Brad Wanamaker will be a good backup point guard. The point here is their defense and transition game should be really good, but when it comes to half-court offense, they're going to lean on Steph Curry. That is not good enough to compete for a title, let alone a conference finals. But let's make it known before any of this happens that the people who are going to use this to tear down Steph are dead wrong. He is always going to be a 2-time MVP, multiple-time champion who changed the way that the game was played and the greatest ceiling raiser of all time. Support AM Hoops and click subscribe. Don't miss a daily NBA video.